They're very high on him, the Hokies are. He had a forfeit in his first match against Missouri, and then he ran up against Rivera from Northwestern, who jumped up to 133 and handled him very well. But he had a great redshirt year last year, and they are expecting big things out of Girardi. And of course, we talked about Quinn Kinner in the opening, dropping down to 141 after he got beat out in the wrestle-off by Pletcher. And he said, I want to be in the lineup, and had a great win against Stanford and also against Pitt in his first two matches.
Kinner comes in 5-3 for the Buckeyes out of Mullica Hill, New Jersey. Wrestled at Kingsway Regional, where he was a two-time state champion, top 20 recruit. And here creating some action is Girardi, the Hokie, in position to score, but his right ankle is tied up from Kinner. And Kinner's got to be careful right now to not go past that 90 degrees. If he does, he'll be in that neutral danger position.
Girardi very aware of that, trying to push that shoulder past 90 degrees.
We get a stalemate, back to their feet, no score. 1 minute into this first match in the duel, Ohio State and Virginia Tech, the Big Ten colliding with the ACC. Underhook on that left side for the Buckeye. Kinner, as you mentioned, TJ, losing that wrestle off to Pletcher. We'll see the #1 ranked 141-pounder in the country up next. And Kinner not wasting any time, making the decision to bump down to 133 and crack this lineup.
He didn't waste any time. You're right about that, Shane. He went right back up to the wrestling room after they had the wrestle off down here at Covelli Center in the center, and went up and started cutting down. He says, I want to be in the lineup. And he started that day for 133. Really manages his weight well, too. Coach Ross, their sports science performance coach on the staff, really monitors their weight management and their sleep monitoring and nutrition and weight training. Really focused on helping them be as healthy as possible here for the Buckeyes.
Girardi out of Powhatan, Virginia. Powhatan High School, won 4 state titles wrestling for John Tanaka. Talking to Coach Tony Roby, he said, Girardi very solid in all positions, not many holes in his game. We're scoreless with 45 seconds left here in this first period. Kinner with the front headlock. And Kinner, very physical, likes to brawl, very good on top, keeps a high pace, wants to wear his opponent down for 7 minutes. Another stalemate.
Yeah, you mentioned no gaping holes. Well, Tony Roby in his third full year as the head coach, really, that's a trademark for the Hokies. They're going to wrestle you tough. They're going to stay in good position. There won't be gaping holes in their wrestling. And you talked about Girardi being from Virginia. They have 6 wrestlers in the lineup today from Virginia.
Kinner presenting challenges with his length. He's got an inside cradle. Looked like momentarily he may have had it locked. You see the Hokie there hanging on to that left, the ankle. And a scoreless first period. What a job Tom Ryan has done here at Ohio State. Model of consistency now in his 14th season. He, of course, won the national team title in 2015. 3-time Big Ten champions.
Yeah, this facility would not be here except for the vision of Tom Ryan. He rallied the troops. He got all the alumni excited. He gave them a vision. It's been 10 years in the making, and he has been obsessed. I think somebody made a comment that if every husband was as obsessed with their wife as he was with this facility, we'd have a lot of great marriages. And it's just that he was focused, Coach Ryan, and it's a dream come true.
Girardi, good start in his second period. A lot of pressure. And now a situation here for Kinner. Has a single leg.
If he can cut across and drive through here.
Riding time continuing to build for Girardi in the second period.
Doing a nice job of scooting those hips and keeping that head up. Driving forward. You notice how he continued to keep the head up. He did a good job in the first period keeping Kinner from getting that takedown because he was able to keep that head in the right position, ducking under the leg. And here you can see his position very solid.
So red.
Riding time at 1:10. Just really impressed with Girardi in this period. Very gritty in the top position, keeping the Buckeye on the mat.
And what I'm impressed about, too, he's a redshirt freshman. This is the first time it's been in the limelight here. And he doesn't look afraid, and he has presented himself well. They just gave up the 1 point. But as you said, lots of riding time built up.
Pretty familiar position here for Girardi, stuffed underneath. 1-0 with the escape. Short time, final 10 seconds here in the second period. As we expected, a close battle here at 133. 17 and 18 in the rankings colliding at this weight class. The lead man for the Hokies in his third full season, Tony Roby. Micaiah Lewis, the first ever national champion in program history. Last year at 165, we'll talk more about him. He's currently taking an Olympic red shirt. Done a really nice job.
Yeah, got a glimpse of his coaching staff there. Olympian Jared Frayer, national champion Cody Brewer. He's putting some special things together there at Virginia Tech. Love his leadership. Love his creativity, too. Virginia Tech had the mat on the mound a week ago versus Northwestern, out on a baseball diamond and sunshine. Tony was joking he had to put sunscreen on his head. It was so nice here in November, and they had a really neat 3,000 people. There's Jared Frayer in the middle.
Right off the whistle goes to a claw. He's able to bring Girardi back in.
And this is where Quinn Kinner is so tough. He's long, he's tough on top.
Riding time was at 1:28 to start the period. Kinner looking to erase the riding time. Good flurry here. Riding time has been erased.
See, and Girardi kept himself from getting caught in that Peterson position, the Granby roll, and not getting the count that the Ohio State corner was. And now it's locked hands for Kinner.
So what that is neutral danger. They are holding the stall call. They're going to give the Hokie an opportunity to either escape or reversal. What a flurry. He's going to get the one, he's going to get the 2-point takedown, and then he's also going to get near fall because he meets that criteria as well.
Really impressive outing by this young Colin Girardi for the Hokies. Always kept in good position in everywhere where he was, on his feet, underneath, on top.
For near fall. A 6-point sequence for Girardi. He's really opened this thing up. And if you're Girardi right now you get a little bit greedy, perhaps start thinking about bonus points.
Absolutely. I mean, you're up by 5, you've got riding time, you're up by 6.
Riding time is now secured, so essentially a 7-1 match.
And this is the position that Kinner's going to have to get better at. He got ridden for 1:28 in the second period, and he's going to get ridden out by Girardi, who wrestled really tough and gave the Hokies a great start here in the first match of the evening.
Really impressed, tough in that top position. A takedown and a turn for 4. Tack on a point for riding time, a 7-1 decision for Colin Girardi, the redshirt freshman. Now 2-1 on the season, and he's got to feel good coming off that performance against Rivera of Northwestern to get back to his winning ways.
Big test passed by Girardi.
141 pounds, ranked number 1 in the country. Two-time All-American Luke Pletcher for Ohio State. And Ohio native Mitch Moore counters for the Hokies. Pletcher and Moore here at 141.
Good look at Mitch Moore there. He can throw and pin from anywhere. And I would say if it wasn't Luke Pletcher he was wrestling, but he was able to have a couple of big pins early in this season. Mitch Moore from St. Paris Graham, just up the road in a little more than an hour. But Luke Pletcher, we talked about it in the opening, from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, 3-time Pennsylvania state champion. Walks out to family tradition. There it is. That tells you the kind of young man he is. Walks out to his walkout song, Family Tradition. That's great. Is this exciting or what? I mean, if you're a family with young kids, you want to come and bring your kids to this facility and watch the show, because this is what it is. It's a great show, and here comes Luke Pletcher.
The raised stage, the fans right on top of the action. Tom Ryan said he wanted to create a suffocating environment.
Pull him down, Pletcher.
Lot to be proud of.
Pull him down.
Just a beautiful complex. Pletcher ranked number 1.
And deserving so. A lot of times we'll say, well, they haven't had a test yet. Well, the reason Pletcher's ranked number 1 is because he knocked off number 1 Demas from Oklahoma. Also had a really nice win against a tough Real Woods from Stanford. So he's earned his number 1 ranking.
And it's been all over social media. That final takedown that he scored last Sunday to beat Woods, one of the best flurries you'll see all season long. Here's Pletcher, single leg. He has a treetop near the edge, looking for a trip. Going to stay patient here. The 2-time All-American out of Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Now going to suck him back in, create some real estate, or try to anyways.
All the way in.
A little horseshoe action, trying to hit it like a baseball bat. Then down, covers, gets the 2.
Pletcher strikes first. And you look at his career. You and I were talking about it yesterday. As a freshman at 141, the plan was for him to be redshirted, but Keyshawn Hayes suffered an injury, so he filled in as a true freshman at 141 in a really solid season.
Ready, set, don't move. Cover legal, Green.
Before bumping down to 133 as a sophomore and junior.
Where he was an All-American at 133 both times, but he feels so good at 141. Finished second in the trials for the U23 World Team. To Ironman, went 2-1 with matches and proved to himself he can be good at this weight. He just feels so much better, stronger. He's excited about being at this weight. I can see why. He's a fire plug. He's powerful. He's quick. And you saw he knows how to finish his shots.
One of my favorite things about Luke Pletcher is how tough he is in the top position. He's not a guy that's just going to give you some points. He is one of the best in the country with his mat returns. And as I say that, he's going to cut him and work on his feet. Solid in all positions. Luke Pletcher, one of the black shirts. We'll talk more about that in this broadcast. One of a trio of Buckeyes that don the black shirt.
You saw Pletcher going to work from space a little bit, a little pass-by opportunity, but he got right out of the double underhook that Moore had, because Moore is very dangerous. So Moore, or Pletcher, breaking away from the ties of Moore, and then dropping back into a little reshot, driving through, high crotch, and the 2 points.
Just great awareness right there and feel as Moore was looking to roll him through. Pletcher able to defend that, scores his second takedown. Now at 4-1. Now blood.
Yeah, I think he knocked his head right above the eyebrow there and got a little gash on his head.
Gash on the forehead. In college wrestling, there is no limit for blood time as we take another look at that second takedown. Just a great level change and explosion from the Buckeye.
That's exactly right, Shane. The level change, then penetration, high C there, and then covering up. And got the 2 points. Really nice execution.
Coming off a 23-9 victory this past Friday, Ohio State went to Pitt and beat the Panthers. 2-0 on the season, Ohio State. As is Virginia Tech, a couple of nice wins against Missouri.
Yeah, you know what's the elite wrestlers like Luke Pletcher, they're comfortable being uncomfortable. That 23-9 win, he gave up an early takedown. That's no big deal to him. They you know, in the wrestling room, he's out there to get better all the time, and so if he gets taken down, no big deal. And so he came back from an early takedown against him at Pitt, and then won 23-9. And I think that's a mark of the elite wrestlers, that they're comfortable in chaos. They like to go places that they're not comfortable, and that if it happens in practice, you can trust your training out on the mat when the lights are on.
With Pletcher giving him an escape with 40 seconds left, definitely going to be looking to score another takedown. He's got 25 seconds to work with. He's already put 2 takedowns on the board. This time gets extended underneath a little bit, but elevates.
Yeah, good wall by Moore there to stop him, but then Pletcher coming out, trying to isolate a leg, and got it hooked.
Just 5 seconds. Can he get a takedown? Time will run out. Score 4-2 to the second period.
It'll be interesting to watch more as this match goes on because he's very, very capable. Girardi gives him a good, fired-up first match, and this is an opportunity to set the tone for the way they're wrestling.
We spoke about the black shirts. It was an idea from Riley Ross, who's on the staff, strength coach, brought it to Tom Ryan. His background is with pro fighters and jiu-jitsu, so he understands the significance of a black belt, what that color represents in those cultures. Black, it covers all sweat and all blood. And these black shirts to Colin Moore, Luke Pletcher, and Sammy Sasso, these are to the elite of the elite. A toughness represented in that black shirt.
Yeah, and to a layman like me that doesn't know what you were talking about right there very much, it's about leadership, consistency on the mat, off the mat, you know, academics. There's Colin Moore getting ready, a black shirt, and he's just saying these guys represent what we want Ohio State wrestling to represent. And like you said, the elite on the mat, off the mat, in the classroom, socially, leadership, consistency.
Tom Ryan said the only way to get a black shirt is to be a savage. A black shirt can be nominated by any teammate. It has to be a unanimous approval from the coaching staff and all current black shirt holders. Pretty cool deal there. They wanted to focus not necessarily the tradition of success, but the process of success. And Tom Ryan, in his 14th season, just done a phenomenal job. Mentioned before, they won that national title in 2015. What I didn't say is they've also been the runners-up 5 times. A perennial power, a model of consistency.
Yeah, and here he is with a different type of team this year. He's got about 5 weights. That's going to take a lot of development over the next couple of years to get him to where they'd like to be. But he's got a couple of number ones, and with Sasso coming up, he's got some guys that are going to score a lot of points at the NCAAs, but he's got to bring along more than in the past as far as from a development standpoint. So it's a unique year for Ohio State. Certainly not at the level right now. Penn State and Iowa at number 1 and 2, but Ohio State will be trophy hunting this year for sure.
Saw a good example, as I spoke of earlier, with Luke Pletcher in that top position with his mat returns. He's the real deal, total package. There is a caution, false start by Mitch Moore. Moore, 4-time state champion for Coach Jordan at St. Paris Graham. Very dangerous. Good test for him against the number 1 ranked wrestler in the country. Moore, good job there to get to his feet, peel hands, and escape. 1-point match, riding time at 1:02 for Pletcher. Hard snap from Luke. Built low to the ground, low center of gravity, like a baby bull with that power.
You notice Moore getting down even or below the head of Pletcher, and that's not easy to do because, like you said, Pletcher is built low to the ground, but you want to be at the same level or lower than your opponent's head, and so Moore trying the tactic, getting down to his knee so that Pletcher can't lower his level and penetrate the way he has a couple of times already.
Luke Pletcher, 2-time Big Ten runner-up. As we said, a 2-time All-American 4th as a sophomore, and again last year.
Look for your pick off.
Lost to Stevan Micic of Michigan in that 3rd place match. Micic, an Olympic red shirt for the Wolverines. Great shot there from Pletcher. Very clean. 2 more.
Again, lower level, high crotch there, and finishes quick.
Now with 20 seconds left, he'll look to finish the period on top. Build that riding time. Pletcher so workmanlike as he breaks down more to his belly. Works a head lever coffee grinder.
And the best kind of takedowns inside the last 25 seconds, riding out with no answer. Pletcher always moving his feet. And so, boom, hits that high crotch and then runs the pipe, sets it down, never goes to his knees. Covers right there. It's nice running the pipe there. He can set you down like nothing, and he just did right there. That was really nice execution.
Best guys in the country are so crisp on their finishes. Get to a leg, drive through, explode and finish. 6-3 here for Pletcher. Doubling up more.
Yeah, he keeps such great position there, working the head here and more presenting himself, coming back, trying to take his own inside position, not backing up.
Maintains territory. Another hard snap. Great crowd here inside the Covelli Center. Low leg attack here from Pletcher.
Nice job there on that low ankle. What he wants to do now, he's going to try to keep that ankle there. Okay, now he's back to where he started in the first period. Nice job. Last time he tried to get a little horseshoe try. Now he slips, limps arm, comes around. 3 different efforts. He tried one thing that didn't work the first time, then he tripped and covered. This time slips the arm, little limp arm action, and goes behind for the 2 points.
Now he's going to go to work, look for bonus points. Right back in with an attack. He's making it look very easy. Dumps more down to the mat.
And that time with the attack, he cut across on the double really nicely. Got the 2 points. Really working, so 10-5. He's got the riding time, so he's got another takedown and ride out will give them the bonus point, extra point in 4.
And if you're Mitch Moore right here, Tim, this is where you got to fight for your team.
That's exactly right. You stay in there, you keep the inside position, but he gives it up. This time, instead of attacking the legs, Pletcher from the front headlock comes around for the 2 points. Little run around there. He's shown it a lot, and I'll tell you what, this is a bigger, stronger version of Luke Pletcher. He's deserving of number 1, and he looks great at 141.
There's a stall call on Moore underneath. What a clinic for Luke Pletcher. He'll get a standing ovation from this Buckeye crowd. Great appreciation of his efforts.
And they're not booing. They're yelling, Luke.
21st in the country. Off to a slow start, 0-2, missed last season due to injury. And Sasso quickly, 5 seconds in on the legs.
To the hip, hook the other side.
But Moore has his right arm trapped.
And Sasso trying to shelve that leg right there, nice, and now it's going to come up, try to slip his arm.
Potentially dangerous whistled for Moore, a redshirt junior. Just saw his brother in that match at 141. Moore, St. Paris Graham, 2-time state champion. Working his way back after missing all of last season. 2018 was an ACC champion. Beat 2-time All-American Kevin Jack of NC State to claim that title. Garnered him ACC Championship's most valuable wrestler. And Moore's got Sasso in trouble.
And I'll tell you what, he's on top of that shoulder. We're going to see
1001, 1002, 1002.
right here. This is big. He's got the chin.
He's in good shape right here. He's got him tight, center of the mat, all kinds of time. 145 remaining. This would be huge, and he gets the fall.
Wow. Brent Moore got what he has not been able to do all year and gets a huge signature win to shock the world.
This crowd is stunned. That's what I love about this sport, TJ. Every match, a different set of circumstances. You got Sasso coming in riding high, Brent Moore struggling, looking for confidence. And he does it in a big way.
And right there, good position by Brent Moore as Sasso is trying to lower level and do a little high crotch or duck under. And because Brent Moore stayed in great position, he then gets the chin, chest to chest, on top of it, out to his toes, and gets the fall. Huge, huge win for the Hokies. And they have come to grapple.
At this level, you get put on your back in that position. It is good night now, 99% of the time. So Virginia Tech takes the lead 9-4. The Gladiators at 157, Elijah Cleary for Ohio State. And it is B.C. LaPrade, ranked 13th in the country for Virginia Tech. And momentum, TJ, in all sports is everything.
No doubt. The momentum right now with the Hokies, and this is a match that they can win. This is going to be a battle. Coach Tom Ryan wants to see if Cleary is coming to wrestle. He got a comeback win against Stanford after falling behind, not looking very good for a couple of periods, and then did not wrestle well against Pitt. Got beat against Pitt on Friday. This is the time he has to step up for the Buckeyes because LaPrade is going to bring it. He's going to fight you the entire 3 periods.
And you can hear a pin drop at the moment here inside the Covelli Center.
Heavy hands, BC. Heavy hands. Keep your head in there.
That's what I love about this sport. Anything can happen at this level. You got to go and get the job done. Rankings, records, it doesn't matter. Both guys toe the line expecting to win. That's when you got yourself, as Terry Brands would say, that's when you got yourself a dogfight. That's what we love about this sport. Big Ten wrestling, ACC's done a great job as a conference, really elevating. But Tony Roby has done it. Virginia Tech, Pat Popolizio at NC State, Coleman Scott and Tony Ramos at Chapel Hill. I could go on. Just great for the sport, the amount of depth. LaPrade out of New Kent, Virginia. Couple of state titles, very capable, good athlete, strong and explosive. NCAA qualifier last year, went 1-2 after taking 3rd at the ACC championships. He's just looking for some consistency to his approach and his performance.
Had a nice finish against JQs from Missouri. Battled the whole way and got a nice win for Virginia Tech in their upset win over the Tigers from Missouri.
And they beat Northwestern in the duel. Both these teams 2-0 in duels here in the early going of this 2019-2020 campaign. Cleary out of Winter Park, Florida, Lake Highland Prep High School, great program. 2-time Florida state champion. And this is a weight class. We'll see how things shake out throughout the season for Ohio State. They got a few weight classes that are unsettled. And this is one of those.
Well, Keyshawn Hayes, 4th year. A lot of injury problems right now. Got a little injury, got a little health issue, but I'm sure that we will hear about and see Keyshawn Hayes. And then, of course, the news that Anthony Etchemendia committed here and was going to plan to enroll at Ohio State at the semester, and you just don't know whether he's going to be wrestling or not, but he's around this weight class as well. But Keyshawn Hayes has been at 141, 149, 157, and he's kind of charted at 157 right now if he can come back from that injury, and it's just day to day. He's a tough young man, and Cleary, like I said, really came back strong against Stanford. He was in a hole and came back and won in overtime.
Yeah, 3 takedowns in the 3rd period
and then
to
the
force
overtime.
the overtime. Then he got the takedown. Right. Does not want to put himself in too many of those positions. Not much going on in this first 3 minutes. It's a scoreless opening period. Choice goes to Cleary. And this is where he's got to have some improvements on what we saw in that match that we were talking about against Stanford. He went on bottom and he got rode like a dog. So right here off the whistle, what's he going to put together? Got to have that urgency right now.
Well, you're right, Shane. I mean, I see it a lot, guys. I mean, that didn't look like a lot of urgency right there. I mean, and whether he does something else, coming up to the quad pod here is the way he does it, but he's got to make something work because he certainly wasn't explosive.
Good job right
nice
there, little
job
switch.
The hip heist there. So he had a plan, and he went right to work and got the escape. Cleary did.
Took him just 13 seconds. Those are the things in these matches that are so critical.
Here's the progress. That's the type of thing that Coach Ryan's looking for because you got to come out and look like you want to be there.
1-0 score. 1:15 here in the second period. Virginia Tech leading it 9-4 on the team scoreboard. Good attack here from LaPrade.
Rod wanting to duck his head. He did. He does a nice job keeping his head up, isolating that leg, come around, and they do. Potentially dangerous. Got that knee bent in a way that it shouldn't go.
Knee back, a lot of pressure.
That's a nice shot by LaPrade, and nice job of getting his head ducked under the leg and coming up. He was on his way to perhaps getting a takedown there.
Right arm busy,
Watching the
Eli,
feet of
right
both
arm
these
busy.
guys at the moment. Both guys kind of
No
stuck
hands,
in the
guys.
mud. Feet flat.
Fakes going. Get him off balance.
Never been a big fan, TJ, of the ear to ear, forehead to forehead.
Action, guys. Let's wrestle here. Come on. work the
Usually
score.
favors the lower ranked wrestler when they slow it down like
Exactly.
Up there.
Inside 25 seconds, just the one escape from Cleary. The only tally on the board. Great opportunity here for LaPrade.
15.
Reaches across. Now a whizzer position. Good defense from Cleary.
If he can slip that arm out, shelf that leg, come up. Still, nice job of shelfing that leg, coming out for the 2 points. Going to get the takedown, no answer. That's great execution by LaPrade.
Good choice in that.
Short time scoring is everything. Here's LaPrade right here, the whizzer from the Buckeye.
Yep, he
Able to
shelved
get that
that
arm
leg
out.
really nice and covered the hips.
You get takedowns in the final 5 seconds. As you said, you don't give your opponent any time to answer. Those are huge, huge, huge takedowns.
Yeah, it's an extra point. I mean, it's a true 2 point takedown, and he didn't give the escape, and so it's a 1 point swing, so to speak. And there's LaPrade out, so out in front 3-1, and no riding time to speak
Still
of.
stuttering out there.
If you're Tom Ryan and this Ohio State coaching staff right now, you're looking for something from Cleary right now. Show me something. Let's get active on our feet.
Stay on the attack.
Start now.
Down by a takedown. And really
Keep pulling. Keep your head on it.
hasn't taken
Keep your head
He hasn't
on
any
it.
real credible
No,
shots.
No, he hasn't, and it's been half shots, but he hasn't been able to get that past the head-hands defense of LaPrade. LaPrade looking for those takedowns there in the second period, and it was nice. He had that one shot, and it came right back, unafraid.
Right now. Start now.
Go.
Cleared the defense of Cleary and executed really, really well.
Half shot. Fake there from Cleary. He's going to have to open it up, though, a little bit.
Control that tie.
Has to find an angle,
Fire.
move his feet, move his opponent, get an angle for an attack, and set up a finish. And if you're LaPrade right now, of course, want to circle it is a really nice job there. Good work, good man awareness at the edge.
Get out. Get out of there.
Working a front headlock, keeps that right toe in. And now out of bounds.
Yeah, the reason they called that is because Cleary's foot went off the mat onto the floor there because LaPrade was doing a nice job. He knew right where he was. As you shared, his foot was still in.
Stay in there.
Just 30 seconds left.
Stay in there on your toes.
13th ranked in the country. BC LaPrade trying to hang on.
Use it.
That takedown late in the second period. And now the Hokie hit was stalling. Next one will be a point.
Yeah, and that's because he was backing up. It's not because he's tired. This guy's got a lot of grit, a lot of want to. LaPrade, he's matching from a fitness. He's not tired. And
Good job with his defense.
Yeah. What a nice effort by the Hokie. Jared Hott.
3-1 final. LaPrade over Cleary here at 157. And Virginia Tech, they have come to wrestle. The Hokies with momentum. They lead Ohio State 12-4 in Columbus. All Virginia Tech's done, TJ, has come in and taken 3 of the first 4. They have momentum, and now it is hammer time. They go to their leader in David McFadden, a 3-time All-American at 165 pounds. McFadden ranked 4th in the country. And Ethan Smith for Ohio State, ranked number 21, down from 174 a year ago. And This is where, if you're Virginia Tech, you smell blood, get the job done. Big opportunity here to really widen the gap.
Yeah, and a big opportunity for Ethan Smith, too, the redshirt sophomore that they have a lot of high hopes for the Buckeyes. And this would be a huge opportunity for him to beat the leader of the Virginia Tech team. But McFadden's looking better than he ever has in his career. He was a young guy when he came out of high school, only 17, yeah. And then he is a three-time All-American. Only two other Hokies have been All-American at two different weights. And he's one of only three that has done that. So coming down from 174 to 165 to fill in for where Micaiah Lewis became Hokies' first ever NCAA champion last year. And what that does for a program, Shane, I mean, everybody says, we can do it here. Okay, we've been close. They had a couple of finalists in Hott and Carter. But see, there you go. This is what I'm talking about. The great opportunity for Smith.
Ethan Smith with a takedown.
And he knows it. I mean, he's been kind of underperforming, waiting to break out, got the fans back into this, and that's what his job is right now with the backs up against the wall for the Buckeyes.
This sport is so predictable, right, TJ?
Yeah.
Ready, set. Don't move. Green cover.
Yeah, you mentioned the two other three-time All-Americans, Devin Carter and Solomon Shishko. The other two?
They were the two that were All-Americans at
two different weight classes.
Weights.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
thank you.
Yeah, and but McFadden, the three-time All-American, trying to become the Hokies' first ever four-time All-American.
And a couple of years ago, they had Jared Hott, who's back in the coaching staff, an NCAA finalist, lost to Mike Machiavello of NC State. So Tony Roby had said to get this program to be elite, you got to be putting guys on the big stage consistently. 2-1 score as we near the midway points in this first period.
Fake, Ethan. You gotta make him work.
McFadden just loves to compete. Coach Roby said he's really seen the urgency. He knows McFadden at a few months remaining in his entire career. He's got one more crack at taking home the big prize.
Yeah, I love to watch seniors, elite wrestlers like McFadden and Pletcher and more wrestle because you're right. There's an urgency. There's a coming to an end, and they see it. And I love to watch their tactics and the way they get after it because there's just a difference when you're a senior and you see the end coming.
Fake and sting. Fake and sting.
And he's tough. As a true freshman, he was 1-4 in ACC duels. He placed third at the tournaments. He went 5-3 that year at Madison Square Garden, finished 6th. But in doing so, tore his ACL. Redshirted that following season before taking 5th in 2018, pinning Hawkeye Alex Marinelli to stand 5th on the podium. And then you look last year, went 5-1 on the backside to take 5th. Just really tough.
And really tough right now. Ethan Smith, he did just what Coach Ryan and the staff needed him to do for the team, and that was to come out and score early and put McFadden in a situation that he hasn't been in this year, and that's behind. And so you're going downhill, so to speak, here with that lead. And if he can keep himself in a position where perhaps even score with a few seconds left.
Inside of 10 seconds in this first period.
A little Winn-Dixie action there, almost Nolf-like there for McFadden. Getting the 2 points, turns it around unanswered.
Ethan Smith striking first.
Jumps right in on that low single, comes around, and just McFadden drops forward because it was such a great job of lower level. And then uses McFadden using his legs like his arms right there. And a little belly tilt and come around, hooking the leg for the 2.
The challenge brick has come in, the green brick, as they will video review this. As far as the challenges go, each team in a dual meet has one challenge. They can send a video review. If they get it right, they continue to be able to challenge. If they get it wrong, they're done. I'd have to look at it again, TJ, but it looked like perhaps that there was a leg scissors on the head. Our first official is Dan Sayers. Deke Gonzalez, our second official. Good scramble here late in the period. You can figure 4, I believe, in that situation, but you can't leg scissors.
Hey, put them together. Put them together. Get back. You gotta use your feet.
Has the leg there, and now, I mean, the arm came out. Arm out there, did he scissor the heads? And if that's what they're looking at, because
Or is it simply just control that they're looking for?
Hey, a drape scissor with an arm is legal.
No, it's illegal with a scissors. He scissored the head. We have no illegal.
The drape scissor can be
It's not. It wasn't drape. All right, the drape.
And
is
that's
the-
exactly what it was. It was not a drape scissors, that was a scissors.
After further review, we had an illegal head scissors before the takedown. We're going to have 1 point Ohio State, and we're back neutral with 6.8 seconds left.
That's a big call, and I want to quickly give a thank you to Mr. Haggerty. He spent some time with me reviewing some of these rules.
yeah,
And
Mike Haggerty, the head official for the Big Ten, and spent time with us there. But that was right on. And that's
We're still
exactly
3-1, right?
was the issue.
because a
3-1.
figure 4, you've got to have that
6.8.
ankle in the knee. It's got to be right there behind the knee, and that was clearly down closer to his ankle. So with that being said, 3-1, final seconds in this first period, because when the violation occurred, they had to
So
go
here-
back to that point.
As we go across, he uses his leg to come up to get control there. And as he has the arm, it would have been okay, but the arm slips out there. Now he's got a scissor on the head. That's a scissor on the head, not draped, scissor. And that's illegal. And you cannot then go ahead and get a takedown after you've had an illegal hold. It's 1 point against you, violation, and they both went up. And so it was a 3-point turnaround, actually a 3-point swing there. And so a lot of momentum there too. Instead of it being 3-2, McFadden over Smith. Smith gets the extra point. He's up 3-1. Now he's riding tough. Or 4-1.
Another point on McFadden at the edge. Believe, have to get another look. Was he fleeing that hold? Did he grab the mat?
We could take a look at that again. And so now, so a technical violation. Yeah, he obviously grabbed the mat.
Smith doing great work here in this top position.
And Smith coming up off the hips too. Smith fired up. He knows he's got an opportunity to bring this crowd back in and to get a huge win for him personally.
He's got 55 seconds of riding time as this Buckeye crowd getting behind their 165-pounder. They need him in a big way.
And you saw Tom Ryan there just kind of smiling, looking at Bo Jordan there. You just don't know how this sport is going to go. You got to be ready for the highs and the lows, and they're going to happen every meet. You think, oh my gosh, what happens when a Sammy Sasso gets pinned? And here comes Smith wrestling the match so far of his life. You don't count out David McFadden because he is, like we said, 3-time All-American. He is so tough, loves to compete.
Riding time taken over a minute. It stands at 105. We got 50 seconds left in the period. 4-2 match. in favor of Smith.
Stay backside.
There's a low leg attack from McFadden.
Secure it! Secure it! Secure it!
Shin whizzer in there by Ethan Smith, trying to keep McFadden coming around. If he keeps that whizzer and stays on, and he's going to get the 2 points. Nice job by McFadden, going to work now.
Now we are tied up at 4. Plenty of excitement, a lot of fireworks here at 165. Good old-fashioned backyard brawl between McFadden and Smith.
Nothing careful.
You know, the reality is you're going to have tough matches. You're going to have to take a few punches along the way. It's not going to come easy. How do you navigate that? What adjustments do you make in a match? Stay poised. Stay within yourself. There's a half Nelson from McFadden. Smith working up to his feet.
Very important for him to get out here, Smith. And nice job of breaking Smith back down. Smith continuing to come up. McFadden off his knees, keeping pressure. Got that half Nelson in, got that ankle, covering the ankle back there as an anchor. McFadden does a nice job where it would have been huge for Smith to get away.
There's Smith at the edge, and McFadden will reach
Grab
out.
the mat
grab
right there, yeah. Penalty, and that's why the second penalty point. So McFadden dropping down to that low ankle, and then when the shin whizzer goes in there, watch McFadden reach up for that head right there. The head comes close to the knee, secures that head, comes around, covers the ankle for 2.
We're good.
McFadden suffocating on top, a ton of pressure.
So keep that legal. Keep that legal.
You hear the officials keep that legal,
It's legal.
communicating with the athletes. Riding time and on factor.
Yeah, he's really tough on top, and he'll be looking for cross-face cradles. And right now he's got the hammer lock, the hips flat, the head on the mat. You keep your head down, you're going down. But nice job by Smith getting up. He got his head up. Nice job. Smith battling hard here against the 3-time All-American.
Back to the center with 108.
This is the kind of battle that both coaches want to see, especially the young redshirt sophomore Smith going up against the favored 3-time All-American for the Hokies.
Smith scoring the first takedown. There's a shot from McFadden, but stuffed underneath on his shoe tops.
Yeah, McFadden got all the way back there. He gets out to the sea where the toes, got off his knees fast.
Smith has yet to be called for stalling.
Right.
40 seconds. You know McFadden's going to come at him hard. Another shot, and that forces the first stall call on the Buckeye.
And enough to get another one with it called with 37 seconds left. So he's got to stay in the middle. Smith does present himself.
McFadden, 20 seconds to work with. Ethan Smith trying to hang on for Ohio State.
Nice there job by the overhook by Smith.
Oh, great shot from Smith. If nothing else, it'll take time off the clock.
This
6 seconds left.
Huge, huge win, and the crowd is back in it. Smith gets a signature win for the Buckeyes.
Back inside the Cavelli Center here in Columbus, Ohio, Shane Sparks alongside Tim Johnson. What a crazy first half. Virginia Tech winning 3 of the first 5 matches, leading it 12-7. But they could have had more. They were up 12-4. They went to their 3-time All-American, David McFadden. But Ethan Smith for Ohio State, key performance in this duel for the Buckeyes.
And this big escape in the third period right here, able to ward off the attack of McFadden, and the crowd's back in it. Huge, huge win for the Buckeyes.
And Ethan Smith last week here against Stanford, he was pinned, coming off a loss 3-2 at Pittsburgh. And then he's got McFadden, he steps up. There you see the recap of the first 5 matches. It was crazy. Girardi stepping up big. That was a great start, winning 7-1. Pletcher being Pletcher. Yes, you are seeing that correctly. Brent Moore pinning Sammy Sasso. Should be a fun second half. 12-7 the score. There you go. You can't beat that. Nachos watching some great wrestling.
And with Virginia Tech pressing Ohio State here, you go this weekend. A lot of funny things have happened. You know, Rider upset Minnesota, the number 6 ranked team, the Gophers. Rider upset them. Lehigh beat Oklahoma State by criteria. Stanford beat North Carolina yesterday. Michigan State beat Oklahoma. And so there's a lot of teams that aren't ranked as high as their opponent winning, and Virginia Tech pressing the Buckeyes right now. So it's a weekend of a lot of funny stuff going on, all pointing towards the NCAAs in Minnesota, and that's going to be interesting, isn't it, at the football, the U.S. Bank Stadium, first time ever NCAAs at a football stadium, and they're hoping to have over 40,000 there.
You and I were there 4 years ago inside Kinnick Stadium. They put over 42,000 in that stadium with Iowa, Minnesota. Most likely a record this March at U.S. Bank Stadium.
All right, Buckeye Nation, are you ready for our second half of action? I said, are you ready for our second half of action? There it is, there it is. We need you loud, we need you proud, OH! Our next match is in the 174-pound weight class for Virginia Tech redshirt senior Cody Hughes.
Another year, different Jordan. This is Rocky Jordan at 174, redshirt freshman for Ohio State. And Cody Hughes, a senior for Virginia Tech. TJ, I said earlier it was Iowa, Minnesota. I got that football game from last night on the brain. That was the football game last night. That match at Kinnick Stadium was, of course, Iowa, Oklahoma State.
Hey, get it close, pop
Yes,
up.
I'll always
Iowa
remember that day.
upsetting Oklahoma State. They had 42,287, and Anthony Holman, the NCAA representative that leads wrestling, says, I just want at least one more than that 42,287 at a session for the NCAAs in Minnesota. But Rocky Jordan, the last of the Jordan brothers here from St. Paris Graham, same high school that both Mitch and Brent Moore were from, and Brent, of course, having that big pin over Sammy Sasso earlier in the match, and Virginia Tech, that's why they're out front right now. But Rocky Jordan, in as a redshirt freshman, missed the entire year last year because of injury, and so this is the opportunity for him to come out and show him what he's got here after a year off.
Looking to clear his left ankle. It was a good leg attack. He quickly put him on his hip, hooked that leg, cleared his head, and there's the takedown. Well executed. Stay patient with that technique and scores the 2. Now he's got to work up. You heard a 3 counts as he was below the waist. You have 5 seconds.
Yeah.
If they reach that 5 count, it is a stall call. Jordan 2-0. Just over a minute into this match at 174. The Buckeyes need this redshirt freshman to step up as they trail the Hokies on the team scoreboard 12-7. Tight waist from Jordan, pinching that right side. Hughes out of South Berwick, Maine, where he won 4 state titles at Marshwood High School.
Yeah, he's a 5th-year senior, getting his opportunity to be in the lineup here, and And so we got a redshirt freshman and a fifth-year senior, both first time in the lineup, you know, as far as being able to wear the colors, wear the singlets, and represent your school. And so I love the resilience and the grit of a guy that's getting his first shot in his fifth year. And you know that he's the kind of guy that's going to be successful in life when you have that kind of endurance, perseverance. And as Cody Hughes, not a lot of guys being a Maine prep, a guy from Maine that gets in the lineup at the D1 level.
Hughes just needs some experience, and with that, some confidence. Coach Roby looking for him to take his efforts in the practice room to the competition floor, and again, just comes with experience. Good return from Jordan.
And speaking of Cody Hughes here, I mean, he's not going to wrestle anybody tougher than he has the last 3 years in the practice room. He was behind Epperly, Bolin, who we'll see at 184, and McFadden for the last 3 years. And so it's not like he's going to meet anybody any tougher. It's just that the lights are on right now. Rocky Jordan answering that as his brothers have in the Buckeye uniforms years before. Bo, who's the assistant coach now, and Micah, who was a national runner-up last year for the Buckeyes and graduated.
There's a stall call on the bottom man, Hughes, his first stall warning.
Going green.
And now a stall warning on the Buckeye Jordan. So each man was stalling.
You both have to pick it up.
Riding time at 1:42.
Set.
Yeah, a lot of respect for guys like Cody Hughes, because as you mentioned before, with the likes of the aforementioned McFadden, Bolin, and Epperly, I'm sure he's taking his beatings, but stays with it. Just stays with it. And that will serve him well as his life progresses.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean, he's been getting the crap beat out of him, literally speaking, and so does life sometimes. You got to get back up. And so that's what wrestling teaches. It teaches you to be tough. And probably Rocky Jordan was taught to be tough by his brother there in the middle between Jaggers and Ryan there, Bo Jordan. And he's the assistant coach now on the staff. I asked him if he was more nervous coaching Micah last year or more nervous coaching Rocky. He said for some reason Micah last year, Mickey as they called him. And he says, I'm not that nervous with Rocky. I don't know why. I haven't been able to put my finger on it.
And you look at the Jordans, of course, Jim and Jeff, Bo, Micah, Ben, Isaac.
You score!
Bo, Micah, and Isaac, all national finalists. Rocky, if he can get that national title before he leaves Columbus, that'll make Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner a little more fun for him with that national title. But plenty of work to do.
I was talking to Bo about, he said Mickey or Micah, last year's graduate, was really mad because he walked into this facility and he said, oh, I missed it. I missed it.
Timing is everything, no doubt.
Hands on.
Riding time over 2 minutes for Rocky Jordan, 1:15 here in the second period. He leads it 2-1.
Win the hand fight, Rock. More vicious.
Penetrate to one.
More vicious. Close the gap. Fake.
Nothing. Keep your head in there.
A slow pace match up to this point.
Yes!
Oh! A throw from Hughes. He's got Jordan in trouble, center of the mats.
Wow. And this again, and they didn't give 4. They're going to take a look at this. Tony Roby wants to take a look and say, why in the world was that not 4? Why did we, you don't have to have 4 counts.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of was he there for 4 counts, whether it was verbal or whether it was done with the arms. And so they'll have to take a look at it. And I think that's a good challenge. And what a throw. I mean, here you go. Did the Hokies come to wrestle? Right here, catches him, and boom! Little lateral drop from the knees there. And
oh, it's going to be close.
Rocky, it might not be enough to turn it over. I mean, the call on the mat is 2 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen
it's going to be very close.
I've seen it given. I mean, quite honestly, you've seen it give 4 awful fast often. It seems like that's the way it's given. You want to reward the guy that makes the throw.
It's a big call, 2 points. on the line with this challenge. Scoreboard reading 5-2. With the 2 takedown and 2 near fall, the Hokies are hoping this call is overturned to 4 near fall. Mentioned before the match, kind of slow pace, lulling you to sleep a little bit perhaps was Hughes, and then bang, gets a fastball and sends it for a ride 443 feet.
Well, we'll see what the trajectory was for that, but boom, hits it, and see, now it doesn't matter that he only swiped twice there.
That does not matter because they can have a mental count.
Yes, and so that's what they're doing on the challenge, is the mental count give you 4. It's not a matter of whether he swiped 4 times. Boom, so it counts 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's close. They might not overturn that.
But what is important, as you alluded to, Tim, you don't have to have the swipes necessarily. They can have a mental, they can have that mentally in their head where when they go down, when they swipe, that might actually be the 2 count and not the 1 because
that's
the
exactly
swipe.
right. We're going to see it right now.
After further review, the call stands. The call stands.
So what that means, Tim, is when the call stands, that means there is not enough to overturn the call.
That's right. I mean, could it have been called for? Yes. It wasn't, and I see why the call stands. I mean, it certainly wasn't confirmed that it was not to. And so, break for Rocky Jordan, but a huge confidence builder for Cody Hughes. But this Rocky cannot fool around now and keep the pace slow.
It's a huge 30 seconds upcoming. If you're Jordan, needless to say, you got to find a way to get 1.
Set.
Absolutely.
Cover.
Jordan needs to explode off the whistle, and the explosion isn't, but the quad pod comes up. Nice job of covering the hips by Cody Hughes here. Smells the opportunity for an upset.
He's working riding time down as well. Jordan to his feet. This time able to square his hips up. A lot of head pressure on the Hokie, but Hughes stays with him and rides him out of bounds. Good wrestling right there from Hughes.
Didn't get the count either as far as being below the hips. It started, but Rocky got to his feet and the count stopped. And so what an effort by Cody Hughes.
7.9 seconds, time to ride the bull right here.
And that's what these matches are. They're 7 and 15 second goes. That's why you do it in practice. Right here. How many times do they do that? We've got 10 seconds, and he just did the 10 seconds ride.
Great period. Stays with him. It looked like Jordan in good shape right there. Powers his hips back in, but does a good job to get up and drive through. And then rides him the period, brings riding time down to 109. So Jordan at the moment still has that riding time point. Jordan with work to do. He's got to get it to his offense.
Well, he got it in his offense early and had a nice patented Jordan single leg there. And so he needs to get in on that leg. Nice job of sprawling all the way back by Hughes.
And if you're Hughes right here, still a long way to go, 90 seconds, no time to shut down. You got to keep wrestling.
He's got a stalling call, right?
Good work right there. Yeah, they both have stall calls. Gets to a single leg. Golden opportunity right here. Stay patient. Missed opportunity for Virginia Tech. If you're right there, if you're Hughes, stay patient. Come back to the center. And there is a stall call on Jordan, his second, so there's a tally. Another point on the board, 6-2 now. Hughes up by 4.
So he backed off and got the call for backing off. You got to stay in the middle there.
And if you're Hughes right now, if you weren't believing early, you believe now. Give him a lot of credit, that big toss for 4. 2 takedown, 2 near fall. That's been the difference in the showdown here at 174. Very unpredictable duel.
Well, Rocky Jordan not being able to find the angle there, going straight on. You're not going to win in a match like this, especially when all you have to do is fend off if you don't find the corners. And Rocky Jordan getting in on the single leg, but not finding the angle to get around.
And that stuff takes a lot out of the gas tank as well physically. When you're caught underneath, that's the last place you want to be. Low single.
Great offense there. Your best defense is a good offense, and And
Yeah, taking
Cody
time off the
Hughes.
clock.
Stalemate.
20 seconds left. Barring disaster, Hughes is going to get a big win for Virginia Tech at 174. Stalemate, just 12 seconds remaining.
Tony Roby says this is what college wrestling's all about, coming to a facility, going up against a great team like the Buckeyes, and they have come to wrestle today, the Hokies.
That's good.
Riding time point for Jordan, but he comes up short. 6-3, Hughes over Jordan at 174. Tack on 3 more as Virginia Tech extends its lead, now up 15-7. A lot of stunned Ohio State fans here in the Covelli Center on this Sunday afternoon.
How good do you feel if you're Cody Hughes, you're in your 5th year, you get the opportunity and you get a big win away from home, and now momentum back to Virginia Tech. Backs against the wall for Ohio State. Big matchup here.
184 pounds pits Zach Steiner for the Buckeyes. And ranked top 10 in the country, holding the number 9 post, Hunter Boland, the sophomore for the Hokies. This reminds me a little bit, heading into 165, Virginia Tech had all that momentum. David McFadden could not capitalize and follow that up. And a similar situation right now, if you are Boland, this is exactly where you want to be right now. You want the weight of this duel on your shoulders. And a win here would really put the Hokies in good shape down the stretch. And coming into Lunatic Fringe,
A little different
Zach
than family
Steiner.
tradition.
I love it. I feel like hand fighting with you right now, TJ. I love it.
And for your Ohio State Buckeyes, on your feet, make some noise, redshirt sophomore, Zach Steiner!
The pyrotechnics, the glow sticks, the phenomenal lighting, and that PA guy is doing a fantastic job creating an event here inside the Covelli Center.
Shake hands, good luck.
Taking a good look here in this matchup, in this meet, what Tom Ryan has in front of him. A little bit different year, unique opportunity to develop. You're talking about weight classes that are still up in the air. 174. Caleb Romero, Rocky Jordan fighting it out today. Rocky went, didn't get the win. Zach Steiner, Gavin Hoffman fighting it out at 184, and Zach Steiner in for today against Hunter Boland, who had a great redshirt year last year. His trajectory going straight up.
Get out.
ACC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago, and then redshirt last year.
Hands.
At this level, it is all about production. You got to prove yourself each and every time you step inside that circle. Boland redshirting last year was 13-1 in open tournaments. Took second at the Southern Scuffle, fell to Shakur Rashid of Penn State in that final 4-1.
Yeah, that was his only loss all year.
And he's a guy that'll come out and throw the kitchen sink at you. Tony Roby loves his attitude. He's unorthodox, unique style, at the crazy hips. But big upside, and they're excited about him in Blacksburg.
As I spoke with Zach Steiner, opportunity to make a statement here. They're trying to figure out who is the 184-pounder for Ohio State. Zach Steiner gets his opportunity today.
Steiner out of Preston, Ohio, Norway High School, where he was a 2-time state champion, wrestled in the duel last week against Stanford, went 9-6.
Same high school as Colin Moore.
Yes.
And Colin Moore, who will come up next for the Buckeyes at 197.
Take it high. Take it high.
One thing,
Hey,
TJ, in doing the
hand
research
fights
that
down.
oftentimes gets overlooked is
When the hand fights out.
the workload. These guys, Division I athletes. Steiner wrestling in the Big Ten for Ohio State, a perennial power. He's a 2-time Ohio State scholar athlete, academic all Big Ten last year.
Get out of the hands.
An ag communication major, production agriculture minor. I mean, these guys are getting it done in so many ways.
Got 2 red.
Nice job of going around there. Worked ahead and then just ran around for the 2 points by Bolin. Goes out in front. Hokies out in front 15-7 as a team, and now Bolin out in front 2-0.
As Steiner flat controlling that right wrist. Now going to peel it back into a hammer lock.
Hey, you got a free go.
Tough place to be if you're Steiner right here.
What's the bottom guy doing?
Let's come up. Let's come
Here,
up.
keep it legal.
Deep, deep.
Keep that
Go
hammer
deep,
lock,
look.
that wrist against the back.
Virginia Tech trying to do what they did the last time these guys met 5 years ago, and they won. It came down to the last heavyweight. Kai Waltz winning it and winning the dual meet. It was in Blacksburg, though. Oh, gets legs in. Very close. Oh, man. No points there. Good effort by Steiner.
Crazy flurry in the final seconds of the first. Score remains 2-0.
Peeling the arms there. Steiner jumps over and almost gets that leg in, which would have been 2 right at the buzzer. But Bolin able to stay in good position and actually keep Steiner from getting an escape.
Bolin will go on bottom to begin this second period. Likes to put points on the board. Beat Wisman in Missouri 10-9 and followed that up against Jessen of Northwestern 14-3. So double-digit points in both matches so far in 2019 for the redshirt sophomore from Christiansburg, Virginia, where he captured 3 state titles at Christiansburg High School.
Hands
Escape
out.
3-0.
You got to shake him up.
15-7 Virginia Tech. This duel all kinds of surprising twists and turns. At the moment,
Good, keep moving.
That's your hook.
the
Moving
Hokies
target.
prevailing. We began at
Move your
133.
Let's go.
With that being said, of course, we'll
Hey,
end
you
at
gotta win the hand fight,
125
Zach.
here this afternoon. A good counterattack there
You
from
score! You score! Get off
Steiner.
Yeah, Steiner wasn't able to quite get that corner and come up, so he bails out a little bit, smartly getting back in good position.
Really solid with his underhooks, Bolin.
Wait, get the underhook out.
That's where he likes to be.
He's throwing it by.
Underhook on that right side. Great work off an underhook to score.
Yeah, he felt Steiner coming forward a little bit, took advantage of that, just threw him by, came around for the 2 points. Really, Bolin has a really nice feel. He feels his opponent, and that time took advantage of it.
Get him off his finger.
Situation here, needless to say, if you are Virginia Tech, you are looking for bonus points, and on the flip side of that, if you are Steiner right here, could be a situation where you lose by 7 and you're the hero of the duel, or one of them.
Good activity by Steiner on the bottom there. He needs to keep moving, needs to have a little urgency here with 23 seconds left. He needs to get out and get at least 1.
Finish your period on top.
Set. Cover legal.
A couple years ago, Bolin, ACC runner-up. Goes right to a call for the whistle.
Step up.
Short time, 15 seconds.
Wrestle here. Let's
Versus
wrestle.
the left wrist. There's that tight waist.
Yeah, and he's keeping that tight waist, staying close to the hips right there, not letting Steiner out. He got good hand control, but he just wasn't able to get the hips separated enough. And Bolin does a nice job of riding out in that second period.
So Steiner's got the choice.
Yeah, he's got to go down. He's got to make something work.
And curious to see how long Bolin works the turn.
He's giving you an optional start. He's giving you an optional start. You ready? Cover.
Bolin's thinking major decision right here.
Exactly.
Pushing him away.
surprise.
Yep,
Getting it
going
covered.
after him now.
No underhook. Set. Yep.
Pull him down. Pull him down.
Hunter Bolin looks like a guy that just likes to work. He feels like he's got it going now in the third period. There's no fade at all in Hunter Bolin.
Underneath you. Get to a leg. Get to a leg. Make it easy on yourself.
Fake there from Bolin. Scored last time off that underhook on the right-hand side.
Good. Yup. Do it again.
And if you're Steiner right now, can you find a way to get one takedown?
Head in the way.
Head fingers, guys. Get out
Head
of
in there.
hand.
Keep your head in there.
This is where you turn it into a fight if
This-
you're Steiner.
Exactly. This is where the effort comes in. He's got to move those feet. He's got to keep getting good position, move the feet, lower his level, and he's not getting past Bolin. And his feet have slowed down since the first period.
Bolin's challenge is to open Steiner up. Fully understands the strategy, I'm sure. And Steiner is wrestling here late in this third period.
Get to your leg attacks. Go get it.
Yeah, Bolin,
Hands, guys.
his intensity has definitely dropped the attack rate.
Hey, pulls that, pulls that.
Snap shot. There it is.
Both guys hanging out center of the mat, just
On his
head-to-hand
head, yo.
fighting.
One more. Let's go.
No space.
One more
See what this
Get him to a
last
flat.
30 seconds has in store for us.
You said it there, Shane. There's got to be some, if you're Steiner, you got to say, I got to get in a fight right here. Get those inside position, get those hands moving. But Bolin's not having anything of it. Steiner just cannot get past that defense of Bolin on his feet.
It will be a regular decision for Virginia Tech. Here at 184 with Hunter Bolin. He's going to tap on 2 more, and with the riding time,
One red riding time.
believe it'll be 8-1, yes. 7 points. Steiner keeps it a regular decision. But 3 more for Virginia Tech as they extend their lead on Ohio State. At 174, check out the throw from Hughes. He puts Rocky Jordan on his back. Thanked Colin Moore taking the mat for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he needs to come in and do his thing because the Buckeyes need major points here in the next couple of matches to be in this thing.
7-0 is Colin Moore. And he'll wrestle Stanley Smeltzer for Virginia Tech. And in dual meet wrestling, it's what makes it so fun is everybody's effort plays into that final equation. If you're Colin Moore, you need 5, you need 6. If you're Smeltzer, go out and fight and minimize the damage as best you can. Easier said than done against a guy like Colin Moore, 3-time All-American, an NCAA finalist. Last year in Pittsburgh, falling to Bo
Wrestlers,
Nickel.
good luck, stay safe.
Colin Moore, a 2-time Big Ten champion, and this guy just puts on the hard hat, grabs the lunch bucket, and goes to work. He can grind with the best of them.
Start here.
Started out with that patented little fireman's carry. Comes back, tacks the hip.
Able to clear that front headlock from Smeltzer.
Colin, think. Thanks.
One of the leaders on this team, Colin Moore for Ohio State.
Stay square.
A good shot there from Moore.
Stand.
Colin, one of those guys, just really lets his actions do the talking. Pretty quiet guy. Talks when he has to. Respected. I mean, he learned from the likes of Snyder and Tomasello, Jordan.
Think, Colin,
And now
think.
his turn in that leadership position.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Think.
Norwayne High School's first ever state champion. He was the league soccer most valuable player in his soccer league, and I asked him if he, played football. He was a kicker, but he just put on the uniform on Friday night, he said, and kicked. It was neat because he was a soccer player that liked to hang out with his friends who played football. He's been so close 3 years straight. Sophomore year had some health problems, but he's been the tunnel's narrowing, as we've talked about seniors. The time is now, and he's very focused. But, I'll tell you, somebody else is focused here is Stanley Smeltzer in knowing what is expected of him, and that is to battle. And he's been battling, but here comes Moore with that takedown.
He went 90 seconds, did the Hokie before getting taken down. Moore gives the escape 2-1.
Do it.
It takes a lot of takedowns and letting them up to get anything like a technical fall that Moore would like to get.
Moore single leg now going to put Smeltzer on a hip, but good fight there from Smeltzer on the edge. Able to
exactly
square his
right.
hips up back to the center with 1:01 remaining in the first period. I will say this, Tony Roby has to be super impressed with the fight he has seen from his team.
Yeah, this is Smeltzer, a redshirt sophomore. He just got his first ever win versus Missouri a couple of weeks ago in that dual meet. And so, I mean, it's his first time out in the limelight as well.
Smeltzer hit with his first stall warning.
Wasn't highly recruited, another Virginia kid.
Second takedown for Moore. Half a minute remaining here in the first. Now 4-1. Coach Roby saying what Smeltzer just needs experience, but a guy they feel they can coach up as the season progresses.
This is important for both wrestlers right here. I mean, you only got 2 periods left after this. You're 1/3 of the way done. So Colin Moore says, yeah, I let him up so I can take him down. And he gets to 2. Yep, because he's behind the elbow. Kept his foot in. Real good mat savvy there.
And look at this. Smeltzer
No
nearly
points.
getting an escape.
Nope.
State Farm State of Success is Colin Moore. 90 victories in his career. See that winning percentage. Scores a lot of points. 32 major decisions.
Green goes down.
Great career for Colin Moore, who will look to become a 4-time All-American and national champ.
Cover.
And they need a lot of points right here. So the scoring machine better be on his game. So far, he has been, but we've also seen Smeltzer, like you said, it was 90 seconds before Moore was able to score the first time. So can he wear him down? Can he continue to score? Because, I mean, he's really wanting to get at least 5 points. And that's going to take a lot of effort right here.
A situation that Colin Moore outmatching Smeltzer.
When we talk about 5 points, that means 5 points for the team, a 15-point spread, a technical fall. If you get between 8 and 15, it's a 4 points for the team instead of the 3. And Colin Moore is on the hunt right now.
Yeah, he's really pouring it on now.
And he needs to, because these points don't come easy, even though he's making it look easy, but it's 2 for 1, it's 2 for 1, it's 2 for 1. That's why some people think the takedown should be 3 points, you know? But it's not. And now you're halfway through, more than halfway through the match right here. Only 3 minutes left. A minute here, 3 minutes, or 2 minutes in the third period. And really what he'd be looking for is 2 more.
11-4 is the score. Riding time and on factor here with 40 seconds left in the second period.
Two green.
All right here, it's the same thing. 35 seconds left.
You know, situation right here, do you keep him down, look for a turn?
Well, he's made that decision right now.
Because then you'll take riding time over a minute.
Come on, he's got to move down there.
Although he would have corralled riding time in the end anyways, I'm sure, with more takedowns.
And there's one, and that'll help the cause for the Buckeye there. One stalling. That was the second call. So now all of a sudden you're out by 10. Riding time 11. And you've got a net 4. You've got a net 4 in this last.
Choice goes to Smeltzer. Takes a quick look at his corner.
And I'll bet he
bottom.
just gives him the 1. I mean, he probably isn't even going to. We'll see what he does here. Maybe try for a tilt first, or just
get right to your offense.
Yeah.
On your feet.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. Going to go right to the offense, like keeping his hands on him.
I like what he did there. That's a great point you made there, TJ. He just didn't cut him. He got to a 2-on-1.
There, duck under. Look at that. Executing at his best when he's tired. This guy never fears being tired. And that's the mark of a real winner. And he's got both ankles there. He's putting it on now. Going to let him up again.
Colin Moore looking for a tech fall here at 197.
And this is not an easy thing to do when it's just takedowns. Driving across, 2 more. If he can get a tilt here.
I believe he got 1 swipe.
Yep, and so he's got to get 2 more takedowns if he doesn't get back points.
He's got 1:18 to work with.
2 takedowns.
And the effort he's putting forth is huge. I mean, the heart's pumping, but this is why he's trusting his training.
I don't think we'll see this, TJ, but Yeah, riding time is pretty much locked up. Yeah, he'll go to work on his feet.
Set. Go.
Gives that optional
during
start.
And Smeltzer has presented himself, but this is just a relentless attack by Moore, knowing what his team needs. And so he's going to let him up one more time. A takedown here
The attack.
with Tech would
24
end
to
the
9.
match and give the team 5 points and a little go around and a return.
There you have it. 24 to 9. Colin Moore taking care of business.
Man, that was an effort.
Yes, it was. He did what he needed to do for this team. That's 5 for Ohio State. Now 18-12 with 2 matches remaining. Colin Moore improving to 8-0 in this his senior campaign. Colin Moore has got on his offense, attack after attack after attack, racked up the takedowns, and ultimately gets the tech fall for the Buckeyes. Bring on the heavyweights. Chase Singletary, ranked number 11 in the country for Ohio State. And Virginia Tech counters with John Borst, redshirt sophomore out of Stephen City, Virginia. 3-time Virginia State champion. Singletary, highly recruited out of high school. 2-time national prep champion at Blair Academy. Won a couple of Florida State titles. Hails from Naples, Florida. It's kind of funny, Tim, because you look at this duel and a lot of times you start at 125 and it's all the pressure is on the heavyweights. That will not be the case in this duel. It's going to come down to the 125 pounders.
Yes, it is, and the Buckeyes are looking to Chase Singletary. Back at 225, he was starting to cut down and thinking about 197 for next year, but heavyweights, well, where he's going to be, and he told me he likes 225. He's not going to go back up to 235 or 240. He just felt like it was a little heavy, made him tired, and this is the weight that he likes to compete at.
Was reading an article about Singletary that when he was 10 years old, he was in the high school
Just
room
hand fight him. Just hand
and
fight
was
him.
super upset when he got beat.
Pull him down.
In 2011, as a 12-year-old in 6th grade, he was in a Florida high school state final, didn't win that match, but won state titles in 7th and 8th grade
Swiping his leg.
in Florida.
And his 4 years in high school, he was 113, 120, 132, and 160. And so, I mean, you know, he's wrestles a little man's wrestling.
High intensity hand fight.
The way he does it is just really,
keep doing
he
that.
likes to wrestle guys like Borst. And I'll tell you what, I was impressed with Borst against Missouri because he comes at you. He's tough, and he's got his opportunity in the varsity lineup this year. Been wrestling with Ty Waltz, of course.
This is a guy Virginia Tech feels can All-American. Really high on Borst. He's put some weight on. And yeah, 11 points and 9 points, respectively, in his first 2 matches against Missouri and Northwestern this season. And you look at this heavyweight weight class, TJ, in the Big Ten. 7 guys in the top 13. Kassar, the reigning national champion. Stevenson, Paris, Hilger. Singletary here at 11. Cassiopeia at 12 and Jensen in Nebraska 13.
Fingers, guys,
Going to be a
out.
lot of fun in the Big Ten here at heavyweights.
Singletary had a really nice win against Demetrius
Center,
Thomas
stay
from
center.
Pittsburgh, 8-3, 2 takedowns and a bunch of riding time on
On your
Friday.
end, backing out.
So
Singletary moving forward. Stall call on Borst to Virginia Tech is first.
Keep chasing him.
No
Come
score,
here.
1:15 remaining. Here in this first period, 18-12 on the team scoreboard.
Pull him down, Chase.
Virginia
Keep
Tech
pulling
up
him
by
down.
6. This match and one more to follow at 125 to put a cap on this afternoon's duel. You got your money's worth today, TJ, no question.
Both teams going back and forth, getting some big upset wins.
Step in.
Everybody
Step in
battling.
single now.
Get out of that underhook.
Clear.
In and out. Hey.
Hands on, hands on.
Singletary, less than a month ago, wrestled at the U23 World Championships in Budapest.
30 seconds remaining in the period. 30.
Good time to score, John.
Go get him.
45 seconds.
Late in this first period.
Go for
Time to
one.
score, John.
Hands.
See if
Go
either
get
one
him,
of these
Chase.
two guys can put
Yes,
something
yes.
together and get on the board.
Use that.
Boris doing a nice job of changing
seconds,
directions
10
with his
seconds.
hand fighting, and he's staying in, going in and out there, staying in the middle of the mat. That's why Singletary did a good job of backing him off, because Borst, he's not going to back off usually, and got that warning early.
Get him in the scramble. Get him in the scramble.
Singletary will go on bottom here in the second period. Working up to his feet,
Big left.
peels hands and escapes. 1-0 Singletary. Was talking about the talents in the Big Ten at this weight class. It reminds me, TJ, I wouldn't put this group in this next class, not exactly yet, but remember,
Hands.
heavyweight in the Big Ten several years back, Nelson, McMullen, Telford, Kuhn, Chalfont, McClure, Medbury. You feel like that weight class is going to get back to that kind of talent mix. There's a low attack down on the ankle, Singletary.
Lean into him. Wait, there you go. Oh, keep that leg back.
But action
Leg back.
stopped by
Ready to roll
Borst.
to the head.
Now, yeah, Singletary trying to keep his head up there. If he can continue to come up with the sit, with Borst's head down on the mat, good position for Singletary right now. Comes around and gets the two. Right, and not called yet. There it is.
Singletary 3-0 following that takedown.
That's that little man shot that I was talking about. And both these guys have that ability, but Singletary has actually controlled the match so far. Borst not showing the shot that Singletary just successfully completed there. And now a lot of pressure on the top there. Good cover on the hips. Working those wrists, the elbows out there for Borst. Not going anywhere with those elbows out because they're just asking to be ridden.
Yeah, Borst head on the mat. He's got to be careful. Going to get hit with stalling again. You got to keep your head up. This Ohio State crowd
Yeah,
looking for it.
exactly. And the crowd's going to pressure that official till he can't do anything but call Borst for stalling.
And that'll
Nice
close
ride.
the period.
It's like there's another example of a takedown and ride out with no answer and the advantage. All right, Borst does not go under. And you can see why. But he's going to have to get past that defense of Singletary. And Singletary's best opportunity here would be to drop back in.
Singletary controlling this match, leading it 3-0.
One more takedown. Get a takedown.
You got to fake, Chase, fake.
Chase, we need a major.
Yep, step in.
Shot there from Borst, but straight on. Counter attack from the Buckeye.
Go, go, go.
Chase, need the major.
These two guys look like
Get it, go now.
NFL
Take down now,
linebackers.
Chase.
Watch a slow single.
Collar tie, right side from
Chase,
Singletary.
pressure.
Now they separate.
Come on, John. You get him reacting to you. You're snapping and faking. Get
Take
your
off,
underhook.
Chase,
Let's
take
go.
off.
Stay in there and battle.
Chase, need a major.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the presentation of Singletary. Whoa, right when I said that and he was slipping by, there's Borst ready to go.
Hey, injury time.
What are they?
Blood. I got blood.
Blood time.
Little blood time. Tremendous job by Borst there, being ready and going by because Singletary was trying to throw by there to get that takedown. Yeah, this is just indicative of the Hokies right now. They're ready to come. Watch this. Okay, in on the single, and now he's going to slip by for a slide by, and because Boris comes around, his hips were in great action right there. Watch Boris' hips right here.
Just kept on wrestling.
And watch this, and boom, he presents himself and drives back in. So I had great position. See, position doesn't just happen standing up on your feet. That was a nice job that Boris didn't stay on his knees. Came back up, presented his hips, drove through, and we have ourselves a match.
Well, you look
3-2.
at the scoreboard, too. It's 3-2, but you feel like Singletary's controlled, and he
was.
really has controlled
Yes.
everything except about 2 seconds.
You know, you talk about whatever Coach Ryan and his staff use as far as whether they put it on the big board or in notepads or whatever, but they absolutely have a lot to work on after this meet. I mean, and they know where it is. Little things.
And now Boris will give the escape to make it 4-2. Boris scoring his takedown off the attack of Singletary.
And see, we'll see how that comes into play because Boris has not been able to get
He
past
has
the
not.
defense of Singletary. So the reality is here, Singletary with a 4-2 lead. The stalling's on the other man.
Yes.
And so you're sitting here and saying the only way we have an opportunity to win as a team is for Mina not to do anything stupid right here. So he's got the win in his pocket with good defense.
Just controlling center, good counterattack
he
there
dropped
from
out.
Singletary.
There's an example of him being smart and bailing out.
Boris is pretty tricky.
Yes, yeah.
Stays 4-2, final seconds.
You know, Boris is going to keep coming at you, but from a standpoint of most of the time, Singletary had this under control.
4-2 decision at heavyweight for Ohio State, Chase Singletary.
A necessary win for sure.
Yes. High number of falls. This duel has had only one pin. That was Brent Moore, Virginia Tech, at 149, pinning Sammy Sasso. So for Ohio State to win this duel, they need a major decision from Malik Heinzelman, the 21st ranked 125-pounder in the country for the Buckeyes. Man, has this been a lot of fun.
Simple as that. Well said there, and this is what needs to be done. Heinzelman needs to come out and do something that would be very difficult to do. Joey Prada is very hard to score on, very tough on top, and so Heinzelman will have to go to work and do what he's capable of. This young man has been on so many multiple world teams, cadet, junior, Heinzelman, but it's an important time for him to step up now for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he has been on the big stage plenty of times. This is no stranger for him. Out of Castle Rock, Colorado, Castleview High School, 3-time Colorado State champion. A lot of success in Fargo in both freestyle and Greco, carried it over to multiple world teams, but big challenge in front of him in Joey Prada, the redshirt junior out of Richmond, Virginia. Prada's a good story. Missed the first couple of years with injuries, and this is really a big opportunity for the Hokie. Was third at the ACCs last year.
Yeah, you are right, Shane. Joey Prada had Tommy John surgery. His first match as a freshman, hurt his elbow, had Tommy John surgery, and then his first match the next year coming back, he tore his ACL in the wrestle-off last year, and so he's finally getting the opportunity to step up, and he's 2-0, but he has not had a takedown in those two matches.
Yeah, won both those matches 2-0, likes to be on top, but as Tony Roby said, if he wants to have that ultimate success he's looking for, you got to find a way to put points on the board on your feet. Drive through guys and plant them in the mat and score the two.
It's actually a little bit different situation right here because if he wrestles the way he has been wrestling, it's going to be awful hard for Heinzelman to get that 8-point net victory for the extra point for Ohio State because if he beats Heinzelman if Heinzelman wins by regular decision, Virginia Tech will win on the criteria of that pin by Brent Moore. What a homecoming for Brent Moore.
Exactly, from St. Paris Graham, just down the road. Yeah, it's that simple. Heinzelman for Ohio State, if he gets the decision, it would be 18-18, but Virginia Tech getting that pin for Moore at 149, that'd be the difference. It'd be an extra point for Virginia Tech. We'd have ourselves a 19-18 final if it does indeed play out that way. We're scoreless after 2 minutes here in this first period.
Speed, Malik.
Again, very quiet
Hey, come
here inside the Covelli Center.
Hang in your hand.
Physical with your left hand.
And if you're Heinzelman, TJ, first and foremost, you need to win the match. So you gotta stay smart as well.
Gotta go.
Worst case scenario for Heinzelman, you need to win.
Good, good.
Get him.
Good time, good time.
Good time to go, Joey.
But you said it with
Snap.
Prada in his top work, able to slow matches down from that standpoint. Here's Heinzelman in on the legs and scores two.
Navy ride.
I'm gonna go look at it.
Stalemates.
You guys stay right here. I'm gonna go look at it. You guys go here.
They're
I'm
going to go
look
look at that to see if the 2 call was right. It was the call on the mat. I think from what I saw that he did have the 2 before they got tangled up.
Another video review.
Here we go. There's the little duck, high crotch there, around for the 2, and he gives the 2. Then they stretch out. I don't think the 2 will be overturned.
Fight hard for a turn.
Another look. He's got that single leg. Reaches
Boom.
across to the far
As soon as you
ankle.
get that far ankle, and Joey Prada got around the waist just a millisecond after he had that far ankle, so that was a good call.
For Ohio State, they'll wrestle Cornell on December 1st, then head to the Cliff Keen Invitational. That'll wrap up their wrestling in 2019, and it's back here against Arizona State on January 6th.
After further review, the takedown is confirmed too. No near fall.
Already underway is the Big Ten Men's Soccer Championship. That is underway.
Get to your butt. You're out, you're out, you're out. Come up, yes, yes. You're out, yes, yes. Stay in, stay in.
Good flurry. Both wrestlers. Good job there by Heinzelman staying on Prada, who was up to his feet just trying to get a big point.
Good job, Joe.
First caution on Malik Heinzelman out of Castle Rock, Colorado. The true sophomore came out of red shirt last year, January 11th, pulled the shirt off, and filling the 125-pound class for the Buckeyes in his second year as the starter.
We good? No, we're good, right? Go ahead. We're good. There we go. So 6 points.
6 seconds off this restart.
Set. Cover.
Heinzelman looking for the ride out.
Oh,
Wow,
great
an
job.
escape.
God, now there's the explosion that I'm talking about. I mean, we have the
Taking a peek. College Park, Maryland, Big Ten soccer final. Michigan and Indiana, if you've tuned in, we'll be heading to that immediately following this match here in Columbus.
Set.
Yeah, I love that explosion by Prada there. Another explosion there. Shows urgency, comes off, works for him. And that's what I like to see from underneath.
Just those little things. 6 seconds. You got to win that position if you're Heinzelman. And again, you give credit to the Hokie Prada. He had that urgency. Gets that tally, another escape, and now it's 2-2.
Wrestle him, go get him.
Heinzelman's a guy for Ohio State that they're going to need to bring him along, and they need him to really step up this season if they want to ultimately get to where they want to go.
Yeah, and it's really up to him in a lot of ways to get himself built into a guy that he's not going to have any problem making the weight. He is a little undersized for the weight, but you can see the difference between Prada and Heinzelman as far as just the physique a little bit. And so from the standpoint of building yourself into the shape to be to be powerful, because right now Heinzelman needs to outslick his opponent, needs to get to the corners, force bad shots, and right now he's not able to get past that head hands defense of Prada.
Elbow.
And there's Prada in on a shot, and that might be the first shot that Prada's made all year.
He's been able to get to the legs. It's finishing that gives him challenges, but he's going to get a takedown here. 4 unanswered for Prada. He leads it 4-2. 35 seconds left here in the second period.
Again, that was just some urgency. That was some power.
And looking for swipes.
Yeah.
Looking to break that 45.
And this isn't just Prada. This is a culmination of the team all day long. This kind of effort right here, there's a lot involved there, and that came from all his teammates to him.
When you look at Tony Roby, now in his 3rd year as head coach at Virginia Tech, I mean, this is a victory that has to rank near the top during his tenure as head coach in Blacksburg, because they've came to fight and compete.
So Prada gets out, then he jumps back in on that low single there. And now he's driving through and ducks his head. That's a nice job. Then swivels his hips and comes up for the 2 points.
And Heinzelman was very fortunate to not go to his back. 4-2 to the 3rd period. Heinzelman starting out on bottom. Caution on Virginia Tech, and I like that too. With Prada there, a little bit early.
Take a team point.
I don't think Virginia Tech agrees with it, as
Team point.
Tony Roby having a conversation at the table.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
You gotta turn the music off.
No caution because of the music playing.
No caution because of the music playing. Again, if you've tuned in for the Big Ten Men's Soccer Championship game, we will head out to College Park, Maryland at the conclusion of this match for Michigan and Indiana for the Big Ten Men's Soccer title.
Good, Russell, good job.
This is exactly where Prada likes to be, on top. Slides
He
the
gets
boots
him
in.
both boots in there, and then he goes to work, stretching out Heinzelman right here.
Riding time at 45 seconds as it nears a minute.
Nice job by Heinzelman, not getting back to his base there, not getting stretched out, but there goes Prada to work, and Prada says, man, I feel great here. And this is where he has won his first 2 matches. And again, you're ahead 4-2, and this is where you are going to win a lot of matches if you're Joey Prada.
Riding time over a minute. Prada and the Hokies a minute 10 away from leaving Columbus and taking home a W. Now he's got him broke down on his belly, looking to turn the hips. Again, he's underneath the neck. In great shape here is Prada.
They're showing a lot of power, a lot of strength. Guy that's waited his turn for 125, getting the opportunity to seal the deal for the Hokies in this upset win in this incredibly beautiful, wonderful facility. But
Looking at a bow and arrow right
yeah.
here. A punishing ride on top for Prada. Riding time is secured. He was down 2-0. But just stayed with it, kept wrestling. Good things happened.
Both ways. Go again. Go.
Dominated periods 2 and 3. With the riding time points, it will be a 5-2 decision for Joey Prada and the Hokies here at 125. Final score, Virginia Tech 21 and Ohio State 15. Congratulations, the Hokies come in.